G'day invaders, welcome to Synthspaces, and this is a video where I'm going to be looking at channels on YouTube that inspired me to become a YouTuber. So these are channels that made me think, you know what, I reckon I can do this too. Not because it's easy, it's far from easy, I tell ya, to stand up here in front of a camera, which is something I've never done before. I've always been behind the camera, filming on my travels overseas, etc. But yeah, to stand in front of a camera and talk in front of a bunch of strangers and people I've never met before and get random feedback, it's quite daunting. But I will do another video one day on why I'm doing this. There is a particular reason why I do have this channel up and running, and I think people who have been following my channel for a bit will know those reasons. But we're going to concentrate in this video on who made me sit there watching their channel and thinking, I reckon I can do that too. So number 5, we've got Happy Console Gamer. Now this is Johnny in Canada, Vancouver. He has a specialty on his channel, and that is his memory. He goes through really in-depth recollections of how he purchased a certain game, what was happening at that time, his thoughts. He can even probably list off every single Christmas present that he has received since he was a spoilt little brat teenager. And yes, he was spoilt. He admits it himself. I've seen those photos of him when he was a teenager. I don't know if I would have want to hang out with him when he was a little brat. But thank God for everyone involved. He's grown up to be this really cool YouTuber, and him and me, we are almost identical in the way of our age. Like, he's about 5 days out. I've seen his birthday, and yeah, we're only about 5 days apart. So he's probably got similar memories to me, except from a Canadian's point of view. So definitely worth checking out, Happy Console Gamer. And by the way, these are all channels that have got quite a few 100,000 subscribers each. So this is not an effort to give them more subscribers. This is just kind of my little video to say thank you for inspiring me. And also on that note, Johnny Millennium, as he calls himself, Happy Console Gamer, he was the only one that actually took the time out to respond to a comment that I had made, and he's actually an invader. He's one of the subscribers to my channel, so a big thank you to Johnny, and I hope you do find some interest in my channel and the stuff that I put on here, little old me here in Australia. And also number 4, speaking of Australians, we've got a guy by the name of Blunty. Now he's not entirely gaming related. The main reason why he inspired me is because he's one of the very few Australian channels that I've seen that actually I feel are really worth watching. Now that's not it's not sort of a comment to rubbish Australian YouTubers. It's just that we don't get to see a lot of the Australian YouTubers getting promoted on YouTube, and his was one channel that I actually did get to spot before I had a channel. And the fact that he's based here in Sydney got me to thinking, you know what? He's just making content on the stuff that he sees around in Sydney. Like when Pokemon Go came out, he did a really cool video where he was out and about near Sydney Harbour catching Pokemons, and it was just refreshing to see a successful YouTuber showing Sydney sites for a change, because a lot of the channels you see are from America and from UK. We don't really get to see much from here in Australia. So yeah, I'd like to see more Aussie content out there, and if you have an Australian channel, please write up, let me know about you. I will subscribe, and maybe we can get a collab video going in the future. But yeah, Blunty, he specializes in looking at high-tech computers. He's not really so much of a console gamer. He has a love-hate relationship with Nintendo. He's a Nintendo fanboy of their content, but not so much the way they implement their policies, especially I guess from being a YouTuber, the fact that they kind of hijack his channel every time he puts a Pokemon video or something along those lines. So I can understand from that point of view why he hasn't really got a big love for Nintendo. But yeah, if you're into high-tech gadgetry, cameras, he's a big photographer nut, and also just high-end computers and laptops, that's a really good channel to get a good idea on whether or not that particular product is worth going after. He also does drones. I've seen him post a pretty funny video actually where he had a drone just disappear, just took off, and they never found it again, and that was donated to him, to his channel. I think that thing was worth at least $1.5, maybe $2,000. Gone, disappeared, gone. And number 3, as far as gaming channels go, GameSack. Now this is Joe and Dave from America. These guys play off against each other, one being the Nintendo fanboy and the other being the Sega fanboy, or Sega. I reckon if I was growing up in high school with these guys, I would have been best mates with them, because their love affair for console gaming is very obvious. I think they do kind of like each other's choice as far as Sega or Nintendo goes, but they just will not admit it openly to their friend. So getting a look at their channel will give you a perspective from either side of the coin, which is good. You'll get to see, for example, they'll do a look at games that never made it outside of Japan, and they'll look at both Nintendo and Sega in that regards. They are mostly retro gaming. It would be nice to see them touch on a few modern games to maybe get an idea from a retro gamer's point of view what the gaming scene now is like. They have got 1 or 2 videos. I just would like to see them do more. But yeah, definitely a channel that got me thinking, wow, I've got to get in on this action and do this for myself. Number 2 on my list is a channel by the name of Larry Bundy Jr. Sounds like a wrestling character if you ask me. Larry Bundy Jr. has probably got one of the most in-depth channels on internet when it comes to looking at the inner workings of the developers cycle, and also the gaming magazine in the UK. Now this guy does reside in the UK. He is a subscriber to my channel. Another big shout out to Larry. He's also a Twitter follower. He's not afraid to get in there and leave a comment as well on my Twitter list, so that's always a nice surprise when I get a message from him. But he just recently had a bit of a stoush with was it Mojo, the channel, the top 5 channel on YouTube, and they basically plagiarized his channel. So his channel is so good that these mega conglomerates that are out there that have massive channels are not afraid to get in and steal his content. So that's how good his channel is. He's got a bit of a tongue-in-cheek type of humor. He's not afraid to have a dig at certain developers, especially a certain Fable developer. You'll just have to see his channel to see what I'm talking about. And it's just a fun channel to watch. Sometimes he gets a little bit nasty against these developers, but I think that just kind of adds to the flavor of his channel. So that's another one you should be checking out, Larry Bundy Jr. The number 1 channel though that really got me to get off my butt and get in front of a camera and do this for a hobby, maybe one day for a full-time gig. We'll see how that goes. But the number 1 channel, and this is a guy that I think a lot of people will respect, and if he doesn't win the prize for the best YouTube channel, he would at least win an award for guy that you would love to hang out with at a bar and get drunk with one day, and that is Mark from Classic Game Room. Mark from Classic Game Room has just this really bent sense of humor, dry dad's humor, and I just get it. I just really love his view on these older games. He never really has much in the way of a bad or negative thing to say about a game. However, if he does brag out a game or bag it out, you know it's pretty filthily bad. So he has a lot of reoccurring characters that appear on his show in the way of stuffed chickens and God knows what else, and cartoon characters that he has developed himself. He's, like I said, a one-man army, but he has had he's gotten so big that he's had a side channel which has now closed down, and that is Undertow. And Derek, if you're watching this at all, if you're watching this video, Derek, will you please hurry up and get a channel of your own? We miss you here on YouTube. I would love to see Derek get a channel of his own one day. I follow him on Twitter, and I'm waiting for the day that he announces that he's doing a YouTube channel, and I'm sure that there's a thousand of Derek lovers out there that would also be keen to see that. But Mark is the captain of that ship, and I just love watching that channel, and I really do hope to see that channel go in and make big headway into the future. I know that he had trouble with YouTube, and he tried to slow things down and change things around and mix things up, and from a money point of view, I can understand that's his job and that's his full-time gig. So he had something set up there with Amazon and all these other side channels as well. He's also got fantastic books that you can have a look at. How to make a game channel that doesn't suck, I think was the name of that one. I still got to buy it. That's probably why my channel sucks. Anyway, so that's been a quick look at YouTubers that inspired me. I hope you guys have a channel that you think that I may have forgot or left out, but these are ones that I remember watching before getting in front of the camera. There's been heaps of channels though that I've picked up on since starting this. For example, DJ Slopes is one. Top Hat Gaming Man, obviously the guy stood right here in this room and collabed with me on a video. Carbon Knights Gaming is another channel that deserves way more subscribers than they've got. It's a crime. It's an absolute crime that they do not have more subscribers than me. And also we've got Wacko Jacko Gaming down in Melbourne. That's another channel that's on the rise. Uncle Chunt. There's a whole stack of list of channels that I think will get bigger. It's just a matter of YouTube doing the right thing and pushing them. I might come up with a video one day that highlights 10 YouTube channels that you should follow. That will be a future video. So a couple of videos I want to do in the future are 10 YouTubers that I think you should follow. I will do a video something along those lines in the future. Another video that I want to do is 5 reasons why I wanted to become a YouTuber. You'll be surprised as to 1 or 2 of those reasons. They're probably not as obvious as you think. I'm not making any money out of this, so money's obviously not the reason. But it's been a fun ride and I hope to continue on. But these guys that I mentioned in this video, I really do leave a lot of thanks to these guys for encouraging me, maybe not directly but just by their work. I just thank these guys for existing on YouTube, and I hope we get to see more of their content in the future. Until then, if you've got any channels that you think I've left out, please leave a comment down below, and also if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel. I want to see my channel get to 1,000 subscribers. I'd also like to give a thanks to the patrons of my channel, the Gaming Archaeologist. We've also got the Bit Vault and Sarah Wilson, and also Jose Rivera. I'm not using any prompts, these are all just off the top of my head. I'm glad I remember them. If you want to become a patron, I'll leave a link, and also don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. Until then, my name has been Brian and I've been gaming since Spacies. Thanks guys.